Hey guys, welcome back. It's Claytano. Thanks so much for tuning in. As always, your number one spot for all of the Summoners War Chronicle news and updates. You're gonna hear it. This is your number one spot for Summoners War. Hey guys, welcome back. It's Claytano. Thanks so much for tuning in. As always, this is your number one spot for all things Summoners War. I literally can't say that with a straight face. Anyway, we're gonna get into today's video. It is a some insider information gave us. I mean, it's not really insider information. Hey guys, welcome back. It's Claytano. Thanks so much for tuning in as always. And today's video, we're going to talk about. Hey guys, welcome back. It's Claytano. Thanks so much for tuning in as always. We got some insider information that I wanted to share with you guys because apparently there's some news or update notes going on in the Korea server right now where they're saying that you're able to get a free, yes, a free, you don't even have to pay for it. It's a free Dark Heart Magician, which is a 5-star unit that's not even in the NA server just yet. But then on top of that, you're also going to get a free, yes, free LD Trans Scroll, which is going to give you a 100% chance to get a light dark natural 5-star monster. I'm hoping that they don't put like a 1% chance to get all the other elements like they do with the Trans Scrolls. They give you a 1% chance to get the LD Nat 5s, because if so, I would certainly summon a Hathor from my LD Trans Scroll, but that's not going to happen. So let's go into the patch notes here. I'm going to leave a link down in the description below for them as well. But while you're down there, be sure to jump into the Discord channel, guys, because this is where I get all of my insider information as well. We have over 1,000 people in there now. Again, it's popping off. Lots of great information about Summoners War Chronicles, people to chat with, people to talk to. I'll just go ahead and pull it up here so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Basically, you'll jump into the Discord. You'll be on the welcome page. From there, you're going to see all the information, announcements, minor announcements, official links, all that good stuff. And then I have a whole entire section here just for Summoners War Chronicles. You can enter the server selection. You can pick which server you're on, so that way you can mention other people from the server that you're playing on, ask for, groups, guild, raids, whatever it might be. And then on the Chronicles chat here, we just have a ton of information going on. And this is, again, where I found out about a whole bunch of stuff that's coming into the game. So without further ado, let's go into the patch notes and see how exactly we can get our LD, basically 2 LD 5-star monsters. So there's a couple of things here. Hero area, 5 hero regions are added for each continent. So more PvE content, it looks like. Combat power of 250,000 or more is recommended. I'm assuming that everything that's going on or happening in Korea will eventually happen for NA, especially like major game updates and content. That I would assume is going to happen with NA as well fairly quickly, because they're trying to catch NA back up to Korea, and then once global server comes out, they'll try to catch global up to both as well, which should be fairly soon. I would imagine. There's been no updates on exactly when the global server will be released. However, I will let you guys know as soon as I find out. So make sure you guys subscribe, hit the bell so you're notified, and I will let you guys know. You can, however, download a VPN and, download the game from a VPN from one of the NA servers or Korea servers. But one of the questions I was asked is, can you transfer your account to a global server account? My assumption is probably not, because why would anybody want to play against like a Korea player who's already been playing the game for like 4 or 5 months in arena with a brand new server? So I'm assuming not. You weren't able to transfer a Korea server account to the NA, so I wouldn't assume being able to transfer NA to global. So just keep that in mind if you guys want to play early. But diving back into it here, we have a combat power of 250,000. Each hero has a characteristic that increases damage to a specific attribute by 100% and is an area where monsters of level 64 or higher appear. In addition to normal monsters, there are elite monsters patrolling the area. So very similar to what we have right now. Keep in mind, this is a translated page, so like Lukarangma, that's going to be Rukarangma, and it's just slightly off. So this is translated from Korean to English. In the hero area, you can obtain rune powder, different things that'll happen in the game, and you can craft a 5-star legendary rune of your choice. Higher rewards can be attained when defeating elite and monster. Yeah, okay. Nothing too exciting there. I'm just going to skim past that and move on to the new summons. So this is what I was talking about, right? This is your first look at Vivishell, which is the Dark Heart Magician. This is in Sky Arena, so they're now bringing it over to the Chronicles. So a summon story where you can acquire a new 5-star summoner with a dark attribute. Heart Magician is added. As a result, it will be easier to attack the dark element Sky Tower. So this is their way of making it easier for players to rank up in the dark spire, because right now it's pretty difficult. So giving us a nice, what appears to be a support monster. I don't have all that information just yet. What appears to be a support monster to help us progress throughout the Dark Spire. And it says you have to complete a summon story. So this is like your monster story that you do for, Lyn or Wind Magician, right? Mystic Witch, whatever. And so I'm assuming it's going to be something similar for the Dark Heart Magician, which again should be free. You're just going to have to complete some quests. Outside of that, I mean, that's going to be really cool. I'm excited for that, obviously. But I'm not sure if you'll be able to get like skill ups and other things for it as well. So just keep that in mind when you're building it. It might still be worth building other monsters that you can get skill ups for. But outside of that, there's going to be new transmogrifications. So this is just like skins that you add onto your monsters. It looks like there's going to be 5 Ifrit, 5 Magic Swordsman. Oh, this is just like star grades. So 5-star Ifrit, Magic Swordman, Magic Knight. And there's going to be Cowgirl and Gore. And they're going to look like this. So this is your Theomars, the Water Ifrit. This is Fire Magic Knight. I'm assuming that the other elements are just going to look very similar with a different color. So I think they're pretty cool. Obviously, these will probably be pay to win or pay to play or paid. I don't know if I would necessarily spend money on just different looks. That's me personally. But I mean, they definitely look really good. I think they did a great job on the artwork. But for me, I would rather spend money on like account progression type stuff versus just visual upgrades. Outside of that, they're having a winter event, which I would hope that this is going to happen for the NA servers as well, just having like a Christmas event. So a new winter event begins. During the winter event, the character's start screen will be changed to a winter concept, and you'll be able to feel the Christmas atmosphere in the capital Castellan. That's funny how they spell that versus like Castellan in the NA servers. Kind of interesting. But again, it's just translated. During the event period, you can acquire currency through the winter event dungeon and exchange it for various rewards. Also, Christmas costumes and rides are on sale, so please take a lot of interest. Basically, check them out. that's the Korean version of check it out. They look cool though. It's just different costumes. These are for this is Orbia, this is Cleef, and this is Kina. So I think they look pretty good. Again, I don't know if I would spend money on them. Look, oh, this is a mount. I was like, what is that? That's a mount. Hopefully it's not 100,000 Knights shields. That would be kind of troll. So this is where we get to some more updates. Not just, 5-star LD units, but even more updates coming to the game. Again, NA is probably not too far behind. This is why I'm sharing this with you. Account level benefits. So this is your account level. And as you're increasing your account level by leveling up your monsters, buying packs, all that other stuff, you're going to get more rewards. So the type of product increases by level 5 to 10. And at level 50, there's an event type product where you can obtain 1 free summon scroll of light and darkness. So this appears to just be a light and darkness scroll, LD scroll. But however, insider information, this is translated incorrectly and should be a LD Transcendent scroll. So we'll see if that's correct or not. I think it's just speculation at this point, but that would be great if it was a LD Trans scroll. We'll see. We'll see. Just something to keep in mind. And also with this event going on, if you guys are still doing the Ifrit event, keep in mind that there's probably going to be a Christmas event that is very similar. So if you guys want to save your dungeon tickets for a different style of event, It's not saying that you can get any sort of natural 5-star monster, but I'm assuming that entering, Chaos Dungeon, entering Path of Adventure, Path of Growth is going to give you more of this event currency that could potentially be better than an Ifrit. If you're still doing the Ifrit event when you're watching this, you might want to save those because you can trade them in for 1,000 per cake. You can 1,000 gold per cake at the event exchange NPC after the event ends if you don't spend them on Ifrits. Up to you what you want to do. Just something to keep in mind. The other thing here is there's some patch updates, balance updates, and some other changes to monsters and the summoners coming as well. So if you're thinking about switching over to a different summoner or thinking about resetting a specific monster, definitely take a look at this before you do so, because it could potentially be better or worse and could impact your decision. So system and convenience improvements. It is improved to enable manual operations so that you can enjoy the arena of challenge more actively, and accordingly, skill cooldown reduction and mana recovery speed increase buffs are added to the defense team. Okay, skill cooldown reduction. So the defense team is actually getting less skill cooldowns and higher mana recovery. So it's going to make your arena offenses more difficult. But right now, I mean, in NA, I have a hard time on my arena offenses, and I see a lot of people attacking my defense and losing. So I'm not sure if this is going to have an adverse effect. We'll see. Right now, I have a very difficult time on AO as it stands. So having the defense team buffed is going to be a little interesting, but we'll see. I'm pretty sure I'm reading that correctly. Skill cooldown reduction and mana recovery speed increased buffs are added to the defense team. Yeah, interesting. Added an option to display a smaller UI on the PC version, which has a wider screen than mobile. In the case of PC, the default value is small. And if you prefer the existing large UI, you can change it into the settings. Okay, that's great. Gold rewards have been added in Battlegrounds, and drilling stone rewards have been reduced accordingly. Nice. So Battlegrounds, that's coming out in a few hours. I'm going to make some content on it, possibly stream tomorrow once it comes live. So if you guys want to check that out, twitch.tv/Claytano, come hang out. All the links are in the Discord. So if you guys just look at the Discord as well, you'll get notified there too. Also, you can purchase Devilmons by rank through the Moonshadow shop. Starting from Combat Soldier, you can purchase one item each. When you increase the rank and advance from Advanced Warrior, the number of repeat purchases increases. Okay, so I'm assuming this is a Battlegrounds thing. That's why I'm not really too aware of these like terms or phrases yet. The number of repeat quest monsters to be hunted is changed to 60 at once based on the Lukrama continent, regardless of the amount of orders consumed. I'm pretty sure that change already happened in NA, so that's probably just going to be something that's added to Korea now. And then some balance adjustments. Okay, so these are very interesting, and I think you guys will want to know these for when you're building your monsters, right? So effect compatibility: existing critical hit rate increased by 10% when match advantage, 10% reduction in damage taken during match advantage, critical hit rate negative 10% when in poor match. So basically, to translate this to you guys, when you're a wind element fighting a water element, you have a 10% increased chance to have a critical hit. And if you're a wind element fighting a water element and they're attacking you, you have 10% reduction in damage. And if you are a wind element fighting a fire element, you have a 10% chance lessened to have a critical hit. If that didn't make sense, just rewind the video 10 seconds and listen to it again, because I definitely explained that correctly. Surprisingly enough, I explained that correctly the first time. The change is it'll be a 15%. So it goes from 10 to 15% critical hit bonus, which is nice. That's what it is in Sky Arena. You'll have a 20% reduction in damage. So element bonus is actually getting boosted. And so 15% both ways, 15% down, 50% up when you're attacking with advantageous versus non-advantageous. And then when you are an advantageous element, you'll also have a 20% reduction in damage. That's nuts. I think that's a huge bonus. So if you're attacking in an advantageous element, you're going to have a much easier time than when you did. Target summons all, everybody. That means this is all of your monsters are going to have this impacted, which I would assume is going to be on your summoner as well. Bombs. Okay, so the current, if the target already has a bomb, the next bomb is ignored, explode after a certain amount of time. If the target already has a bomb, the existing bomb explodes immediately, remove delay on explosion. Wow, okay, that's nice. Please note that only the effect change can be applied later depending on the development schedule. Okay, interesting little note. But if the target already has a bomb, the existing bomb explodes immediately. Does that mean that they'll place another bomb? So if you continue placing bombs, you can just go boom, 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 boom. This also impacts the 5-star Oracle, 5-star Joker, 5-star Kobold Bomber, and the 4-star Imp Champion Fire specifically. My Soul Dark Kobold Bomber without a bomb. Go figure. Well, other than that, though, it's a pretty interesting change. And I think with bombs not being very relevant right now, it could be useful in the future. So it could make bomb teams actually viable, which I think would be an interesting change to how definitely how my 5-star tier list is, and there'll be updates to that soon. So if you guys are looking for an update with like ravens added, and of course we're going to add oracles when they come to the game, we're going to add the heart magician when that comes to the game, and all these other monsters, those will be added into NA soon as well. So looking forward to that. Bomb explosion. Oh, here we go. If the target has a bomb, it explodes immediately. Great. That's this. Added damage and stun applied to nearby enemies when exploded. Cool. So it's got some little AoE damage. This only affects the wind and the fire pirate captain. Wind oracle, fire pirate captain. Ignoring buff effects. This is something that is super meta in NA right now. This is typically for like your, the Raven, the Fire Raven that's coming out tomorrow. And we have the Magic Knight Wind Lupinus that it also affects as well. But so currently right now it ignores all target strengthening effects and deals damage, right? Ignores all of them. No matter what it is, it deals damage, period. So that goes through invincibility and endure. So what it's changing to now is that the damage ignoring buffs that reduce the target's damage, invincibility, shield defense increases, etc., excluding endurance and soul guard. So that's endurance and invincibility, right? Or soul guard is actually I think that might be a different skill that's not in NA yet. Could be. But basically, it does not go through endurance. So if you're trying to kill a Cleef or if you're trying to kill a Theomars, it's not going to go through that endure. And it's a little sad, but we'll have to live with it. Well, they actually nerf Cleef down below, but this is a big buff for Cleef and Theo specifically. Death, denial, ignore, damage, hold on, protect the soul. Wow, that is a hard read. Death, denial, ignore damage, hold on, protect the soul. I really don't know what they're trying to say there. I think it's something along the lines of like ignores lethal damage or something like that. 5-star Sage. That's not even in the NA yet. We're just going to skip past that like it never happened. Unable to resurrect, new buff. So this is a new debuff. Sorry. So if you hit them with this debuff that says unable to resurrect, I guess they can't get revived. If you die when having this effect, you will not respawn. Great. Oh, Fire Mermaid is the only one that has it. Awesome. So maybe that'll make her viable. Probably not. We'll see. So there's now some, I guess, changes to the actual monsters themselves. We can take a look at this real quickly. So this is the Magic Knight, light, dark, and water specifically. There's some changes here. I'm going to say not many of these are going to be relevant, so I'm just going to probably skim this. You guys can obviously click on the link below and look at it more in detail, but reduce mana consumption and cooldown. So this is, a light Dark Nat 5. I know there's people in Arena that have this already in NA, but we'll just kind of skip by it. It's not really an issue right now. Like, not everybody's using, LD Magic Knights. But it looks like they're getting a slight buff. Dark one's getting a buff, and this one is getting a buff as well. Ungmoyo Musa. I don't know what this is. I don't know what this monster is. It didn't translate correctly. So add continuous recovery, condition change. We're going to get this in English, and I'll probably end up going over it again as well. But all right, so we have Light Sky Dancer. Looks like she's getting a buff as well. Increased mana gain, grants mana recovery speed, fixed attack power reduction rate. Okay, that's the dark one. Mana consumption and cooldown reduction, recovery amount adjusted. Mana consumption and cooldown reduction, recovery amount adjusted. Okay, that's fire and wind. I'm not sure if it's going up or down, but it's just adjusted. We have the sylphs bleed before dealing damage. Mana consumption and cooldown, damage increase, dispel buff, damage increase. Polar queens, target skill cooldown increase added. That's the light one. Skill cooldown increase. Okay, nice. That's a buff for the light polar queen. Summoners HP reduction, skill cooldown reduction reduced. So big buff for the light one. And then added mana increase effect. So this is the wind. So increases your mana, removes the buff. So, I mean, Tiana is going to be pretty good. She was really good in Sky Arena. So hoping that she's really good in, Chronicles as well soon. That'd be nice. Lots of buffs to the Light Joker. Cancels the strengthening effect when hitting a skill. Reduces skill cooldown when canceling. Add skill haste to self. And skill slow to target. Nice. Mermaids. Remove debuff if no bombs. Change the recovery base. Attack power. Proportionate change recovery base. Attack power plus max HP. Okay. Interesting changes. Unlocks the number of strengthening effects, cannot be revived. Okay, that's the skill that we saw previously. Remove skill cooldown increase skill cooldown reduction. So it would be interesting to see if these mermaids actually get a little bit more play after the changes. It's possible, but for right now, without knowing like the actual amounts that these are changing, then I can't really say much. Some Desert Queen changes. This is nice. So it looks like the fire one, Sekhmet, reduced damage, reduced defense, no resistance removed. So this looks like a nerf if I've ever seen one. So it's going to do less damage. Yeah, reduced defense, no resistance removed. Okay, that's a nerf to Sekhmet, which is an issue right now. Everybody's using her, so that's nice to see. Target skill cooldown increase. So this is the wind one. Ooh, so this is a little Hathor buff. Let's go. Okay, incoming 15A max skilled Hathor. You guys want to see it? I know you do. And then we have a light buff, just the damage, touch of seduction. Shinso Sung. I don't know what this is either. I'm assuming this is this Beast Monk? Damage increase, escort, meditation. Yeah, this is Beast Monk. Escort is the one where they like guard the summoner. Activation rate and damage increase. Nice. Okay, that's good. Recovery amount increase. Okay. Let me see if I can figure out what this one is. Normal attack, magnificent. I have no idea. Yeah, it doesn't give you anything. Oracles, I'll hold off on for now. Archangel, water, debuff effect. What does that mean? Oh, it's just rain of holy water, debuff effect. Maybe a cleanse effect. That would be nice. 5 sage fire. Damn, this is hard to figure out. Added target skill cooldown increase. Goku, water. Alter ego. Alter ego. I should know which one this is. Maybe I don't. Pirate captain. Okay, water. Reduce mana consumption and cooldown. Remove damage. Reduce skill cooldown of nearby allies. Wow. Okay, so that makes the water pirate captain. I'm pretty sure they're trying to make water pirate captain more viable, because right now I tried it a few times. I reset it a few times, but it just wasn't performing as well as I wanted it to. And I mean, it gives like 3 attack buffs and 3 defense break debuffs at the same time for like everybody in the area. So it is kind of nuts, but it just doesn't perform as well as you would hope it would. So maybe having a mana consumption and cooldown, lessened, that might help. Reduce skill cooldown of nearby allies as well. That might be kind of cool too. So we'll see. Wind pirate, target skill cooldown, still irrelevant, I'm sure. Moving on. Okay, dark, recovery amount increased. All right. That's the Dark Ifrit. Valkyrie, Dark Valkyrie, immune duration, matches vampirism, increased damage when possessing invincibility. Okay, so if you use this with Chloe, it's going to do even more damage, which, I mean, used to be a really viable option in Sky Arena. I haven't seen anybody use the wind one in Chronicles. Jack-lanterns, okay, probably still pretty irrelevant. We'll keep moving on. Scarabs aren't in our game yet, NA, so we'll move on past that. Although the water one is supposed to be pretty good for Orbias. Anything that protects the summer, which the water one does, and like Chandra, the water beast monk, anything that protects the summoner when you're Orbia is a good match for Orbia. Chimera, wind, torpedo damage increase. Okay, a little buff there. Little buffs across the board. Water, wind, Chimera, wind, occult girl, water, Undyne. I'm not sure if Undyne is a damager anyway, but at least, you know, you get a little extra damage from the back end. Theomars, change the activation condition below a certain HP percent to lethal damage. So I think previously it was like activates your endure by at 20%, below 20%, then you activate endure and you'll just stay alive forever. But this is saying now it won't activate endure early. It's only going to activate endure once it takes lethal damage. Lethal damage meaning when you basically take a hit that drops you below 50% HP, or I'm sorry, below 0% HP. So if you take a hit from 50% HP right now with it only proccing below 20%, you can go from 50 to 0 and just die. Where if you go from 50 to 0 with this update, you'll still proc your endure and stay alive. Unless you have like block beneficial effects on as well. But this is just saying if you take damage that is supposed to kill you, no matter what HP percentage you're at, you'll pop endure, which I think is how it's supposed to work anyway. The only thing is like endure actually is getting a debuff, so it's I don't know. Well, I guess endure's not getting a debuff. It just has some other interesting plays around it with like, you know, the other thing. So anyway, moving on. Cowgirl Light. Okay, this is something that I have, so this is nice to take a look at. Unlock count increase, added unrecoverable, odds adjustment, so no information there for me. Great. Purifying touch, recovery amount increased. That's fairy, water fairy. Change to activate with probability after removing the cooldown. Water Mira. I don't know what that is. Maybe that's Amazon. I don't know. Okay, moving on to the balance patch for the summoner. This is great because Cleef is OP. I guess it's supposed to be Cliff. But when they brought it over, they're like, let's name him Cleef. Kina is getting some buffs. I think overall they're getting buffs and debuffs, but damage after healing around self. So it's just modified for the fire one. Instead of removing one buff, you remove two. So this is for double wind, which is the wind weapon. I think wind is already kind of OP, so the fact that that's getting buffed is kind of interesting. Decreased skill cooldown, that's getting buffed. Stamina reduction when revived, fixed at all levels. Stardust, okay. And then dark boost. This is obviously getting a nerf. Dark for Kina is, I think, the most OP one. It only revives 2 people and added allied damage reflection on the last hit. Interesting. So maybe it's not necessarily, it's kind of like it's just a change, not necessarily a nerf. So you're kind of getting like a little bit of both. Cliff is having a decreased endurance duration, change the activation condition to below a certain percent to lethal damage, so similar to Theomars. Lava attack is getting an increased damage, add attack power, increased grant to self, fire shield, dark double attack, decreased holdout duration. Okay, so for the most part, a Cleef nerf. But what's interesting to me is that Orbia is also getting a nerf. Firebolt, yeah, damage increase, great. Thunderstrike, damage increase, great. But nobody uses those unless you're on bosses. And Dark Storm is getting a debuff, which is mostly PvP related. And it's not like, I don't think Orbia needed a debuff, but I mean, that's, biased decision. It is what it is. She gets the debuff. On her most important skill, like the most important thing that I use Orbia for right now is is the block heal. And I don't know what the duration is going down to, but unfortunately it's going down. Another cool thing just to throw in there at the end is a guild raid that's coming at some point. All this, again, I don't know exactly when it's coming. I'm sure it will at some point to NA as well. Even if it's just the monster changes, I'm sure will probably come into effect soon. We're developing guild raid. The stage consists of 10 stages, and you can enter the raid once per season. You can challenge alone, but it's recommended to go in a group. When the boss is defeated, all guild members are given graded rewards and differential rewards according to their contribution. At the end of the season, you can obtain rewards for each ranking along with the guild ranking according to the raid strategy. Okay, cool. I like it. Guild raid, so it's not guild wars. You're not fighting against other guilds, but you are attacking a raid boss and being compared to other guilds, it sounds like. In addition, in 2023, the number of participants in the sealed and ruined temples will be adjusted from 12 to 6, and details will be announced when a decision is made. This concludes the above, the owner's update, and the December update. I hope we have, okay, great. With that said, that's pretty much it for today's video. A bit of a longer video than I wanted, but a lot of information and some inside looks to what's to come on Summoner's War Chronicles. I'm pretty excited for all of the things that are coming to Summoner's War Chronicles, and I kind of figured there was going to be some guild stuff happening and other updates and skill balances, and I think what they're doing so far is very expected. I think there's like a lot of problems with the balancing of different skills and different units and different summoners, aka Cleef, and they're addressing those very quickly, which I mean gives me hope for Comtois. So overall, happy with the changes that are being made. Obviously, this hasn't happened in NA yet, but I'm assuming it will happen in NA shortly following Korea. So in order to stay updated with all of the upcoming updates with Summoner's War and what my thoughts are, be sure to subscribe, join the Discord. And aside from that, guys, thank you so much for watching. As always, stay soupy, don't be potatoes, and I will see you guys the next one. Tomorrow's video is going to be which Raven you should go for. So tune in for that. All right. Peace.